What's going on, guys? Welcome back to NolanTCG, and we are back here with another month of sealed only. So, honestly, this month, this sealed only has been a bit rough. I really would have hoped that we would have had, like, almost a semi-competent Paleo Frog deck by this point, but we're still stuck with some ice barriers in here. Overall, I'm not having a fun time. I would much rather be paying frogs every week, but, instead we're stuck, playing ice barriers. And I've decided that I don't like ice barriers. It's very frustrating. And I would like to pull some swap frogs and totally awesomes right now. So, of course, we do have the dual overload, so we can pull some swap frogs, or apparently just not, even though it was like one of the easier cards to get. Apparently, we need to buy a lot of these just to get one. And then we do have a Megatin from 2017. I somehow managed to pick up one of these for like 40 bucks. Australian, of course. Like, that's probably still expensive in whatever your local currency is, but managed to pick up one of those. I'm fairly sure it has Totally Awesomes inside of it, as well as some Paleo cards, so hopefully that one goes well. And before we get into these pack openings, please do remember to drop down below and hit that subscribe button if you are new here, because we're always happy to have new people to the channel. And let's get on into it. So we're going to chuck the deck up the top there. We'll open the Megatin last, because I haven't opened one of these Megatins in years, of course. But we'll start off with the thing we've been opening a lot of, and that is our dual overload. So we just want swap frogs. Like, imperms are good. Like, we got an imperm, so we can't fully complain, but would very much like a swap frog as we pull another Dark Magician Girl. Cool. At least we've been getting, like, the Dark Magician Girl, which is, as I say, every time we pull it, probably the best one you can pull. And I just realized I said that whole entire sentence facing the opposite direction, so I do apologize if you couldn't hear me. But we might crank out the zoom a little bit here. We'll zoom in. Perfect. Then let's get cracking on these packs. We open the Hulk one last, because the Hulk one always has the best cards in it, because it's got Hulk on the front. And that's how logic works. So we'll open them in, like, what? This order? I guess this is, like, best card to worst card. Which means that the best cards go in the Hulk one. But, first off, we've got a CDI, a Smorg, a Bloom, a Phantasm Emperor, and a Herald of Mirage Lights. After that, of course, we have a Dingirsu. Not terrible, not a terrible pull. We've got a Malefic Divide, a What Giraffe, a Gilgamesh, and an MST. Gotta love those MSTs for the side deck. It's always a good thing to have for when you're going second against some stun. Have those fresh MSTs to control the game. Ooh, that's a very good first card as we get the second Infinite Impermanence for the deck. Very nice. We'll pop that one to the top because that's definitely gone in the deck. We've got a Cubic Ascension. Why can't we build Watts? What Giraffe? We got two of them. Let's build Watts. Watts would be great. But next off, what do we have? We got a Tour Guide from the Underworld, a double Evo Pill. We should have just done Dinos. Cybernetic Overflow, Hyper Director, and a King Dragoon. Next off, we have Extra Hero Infernal Devicer, a White Mare, a Deck Lockdown, Hysteric Sign, and a Scrap Orthos. Oh god, we're on the last pack, and still no Swap Frog. Oh boy. Oh boy. Last pack. Here we go. Please have something good in it. So we've got a Tour Guide. We've got a Caspar. I don't think we're getting anything good because like the front card's normally the good card. A Marble Machine and a Dreadnoid. We go without Swap Frogs again. This is painful. This is really painful. Let's get into this Megatin though. Like, we can't play the bloody the Banished 10, draw 2. That one. Pot of Desires. There's going to be a Pot of Desires in here. We can't play it because we only have one Swap Frog. And that's kind of important if we're playing frogs. I wonder how much the Blue Eyes in this Megatin's worth. Like, sorry if I just popped the mic there with the tin. But, yeah, I wonder how much this Blue Eyes is worth. Like, weirdly, Megatin Blue Eyes are going up in value. So, like, 2017 Blue Eyes? Good. Equal money. We have, of course, the Blue Eyes, the Proxy Dragon, the Pot of Desires, the Sanafond, not a terrible card, Entis, and then a token. This Entis can probably go into the extra deck, because if we get Maximist, we at least will have an Entis to, like, counter back with. Let's crack some 2017 Mega Tin packs. Can we get a Totally Awesome and also some Fairy Tale Snow? Let's put this back in here. We were playing at a disadvantage already. We get the Fairy Tale Snow. Can we get some Paleo Traps in here? We see straight off we've got a Speedroid Durden Daikadoon. We've got a Priestess of Blow, a Masterpiece. This is the good Masterpiece, because this is the Masterpiece you can play. And for the trap, we've got a Magician's Navigation. Okay. I remember at the time, this is probably one of like the better ones you could have pulled. So we get a couple of Pendulums, a Bunny Boss, a Candina. Very nice. We have a Candina for the deck. Pop that one up the top. We'll put our Secret Rares, Ultra... I guess Secrets, Ultra, and Supers can go up there. Commons and stuff can go back into the pile over here. I'll move that so it doesn't keep reflecting the light into the camera. But next off, we've got a Gendo, a Gigia Change, Bot Eyes Lizard, Red Wog, more Performer Pals, Dark Magic Expanse. So we've got a Ancient Gear Reworn for the rare, Magician of Dark Illusion, a Tiger Mortar, please be an Xyz. It's not. Although, a Zodiac Barrage. Not a terrible card to pull. If there's a Dryden in here, we could legitimately put together like a small, pointless, bloody... Oh, I've just skipped through the rest of this because there could have been Paleozoics in there, but there's not. Oh well. We could play like Barrage, a Dryden, a Bunny Blast, and just have a pop in the deck, I guess. That would be like funny. But we'll pop these guys back at the top. Now, here we go. We've got Digital Bug Web Shoulder, Beacon of White, Dice Clops, Goof, Gofu, Totem 5, Master with Eyes of Blue. For the rare, we've got a Fly Trap. For our super, we've got an Anomal Lucaris. Very nice. Was it... I can't remember what we already had. Hopefully this isn't the one we already had. Then we got another Tiger Mortar. Can we see a third Xyz? We've seen two. Will we see a third? It is. It's a fusion. Oh, the best card of 2017, guys. It's the best card of 16. And 2017. It was the best card of both years, because this card was the best. It's a Sea Monster of Theseus. And, we didn't get anything good from this pack opening. I guess we got the Imperm. That's at least something. Ram, no traps in the rest of this, so we just pulled, realistically, a Candina from the Mega Tin. Like, we got a Barrage, and, I guess, a Navigation, but... we'll, skip ahead to the deck build. Okay, and we are back with the deck profile. Hopefully next week, or next month, we can pull a little bit better. We'll have that little bit of an extra budget, so we'll be up to the 120 again, because we only spent 80 this month. Starting to get really bummed out that we can't get Swap Frogs, and it's starting to bug me, because I really, really want to be playing Paleo Frog. And this episode is apparently just the complaints episode. Konami does not like me, apparently. They do not want me to have Swap Frogs and Totally Awesomes. Maybe I should buy some Maximum Gold. Hopefully that'd be a bit better. I'll run the odds. But we'll get into the deck profile. We'll skip past a little bit, so we'll move that stuff out there. We'll get into the main deck. It's changed a little bit, because of course we did get some good power cards to come in here. We are still on the 3 copies of Revealer of the Ice Barrier. Then we have the 1 Speaker, and then 1 of each of the tuners. We're playing pretty light on our Ice Barrier package, just because really the Revealer just sets up the whole thing. Then after that, we have cut the entire Gen X package, so now we're just onto the Frogs. So we've got 1 copy of Swap, 3 dupes, and the 2 Ronins. Then for the final monster, we have, of course, a hand trap in Phantasme. Then for our spells, we're playing some Ice Barrier package, of course, in 3 copies of Wizard of Winds, 3 copies of Freezing Chains, and then 3 copies of Medallion, just because ultimately consistency helps with all these. And then we get into our trap lineup, because our trap lineup is starting to grow with a lot of, honestly, pretty good power traps that hopefully can control the game for us, and then we can find ways to win other ways. Either it's like set up the Trish Zero and start punching through, or we can maybe get into some Anomal Lucaris control and really snowball some advantage. But for the traps, we are, of course, 3 copies of Crackdown. We've upped it to 3 copies of Heavy Stormduster in the main now, just because it seems a bit better to just be maining this over some other options that we had. 3 copies of Dynamiscus, just to get those free banish and the body back on board. We have the 3 copies of Morella to try and set up our Paleo traps in Grave, of course. The 2 copies of Lean Cholia, we're playing this so that we can recycle a little bit heavier and get those banished cards back. Of course, Chains can add back them from banished or Grave, so you can burn them from Grave to use the resource. Usually you Lean Cholia to get them back into Grave. Of course, that then can prop off a trap to come back onto the field. And then you have your Lean Cholia for later. And then, of course, we have the 1 copy of Candina. that we've just finally pulled. We need more of this, though. We need these, and we need the other one that hasn't gotten a nice super reprint, which will be nice. And then rounding out the main deck, of course, we have the 2 copies of Impermanence and the 1 copy of D-Barrier. Good card for Negation, good card for most decks. Not Link decks, though. Link decks we lose. Into the extra deck next, we're going to run through this. Again, there's been some changes here, so we've now have the 3 copies of Trish Zero still. Of course, it's our boss monster, so we're playing the 3 copies. Can only resolve its effect once, because we only have the 1 Trishula, thanks to Loops being a thing. Loops, my brother. Then we've got 1 copy of Gungnir and 1 Brio. We did cut the one of these to fit, one of each of these to fit in what we've put in. We still are at the 2 DeLorean, of course. One of these will come out once we have something better to go into the extra deck. 1 copy of Omega and the 1 copy of Matrix. They just can kind of like tech in here or there and get us a bit of punch going. Then for our XCs, we have the 1 Emerald for some recycling. 2 copies of Oppibinia to get access to our traps, and the 1 Anomalocaris to punch and try and help us with a bit of control. And then the 1 copy of Entis as a hard counter to Maximus plays. Then for the side deck, we are of course still playing the Floodgates, so we've got the 3 copies of Spellbreaker of the Ice Barrier, followed up with 1 copy of Wayne, just to try and give us a bit of punch and consistency out of the side deck. Then we've got the 2 copies of MST for if we're in a control game matchup. 3 copies of Mind Drain, simply because I felt as though this could come in quite a lot at my locals, so we are still playing the Mind Drain in the side deck. The worst Summon Limit, we're playing the 3 copies of Summon Gate, and then 3 copies of a Pointer of the Red Lotus for when we're going first and we really want to get rid of some power stuff out of our opponent's hands. But of course, that wraps up here for this month's episode of Sealed Only. Of course, hopefully, fingers crossed, I guess hit the like button. Maybe we'll one day get to be able to play Paleo Frog on this series before odds on the Megatron drops. I get really frustrated, and then we move over to probably playing Dino, because Dino getting the reprints and Scrap Raptor being a common as well seems like that'll be the easiest way to be playing something that's not only powerful but pretty fun to play as well. But as always, I've been Ben from NolanTCG, and have a good afternoon, everybody.